suppose, I'm trying to word this right. Trying to think of the kind of work ethic of people. That's probably not the right word. The culture. That's the right word.
Yeah, it was definitely a different culture then.
Yeah. And for a young 18-year-old girl,
yeah,
being predominantly surrounded by men,
yeah,
what was that like?
I thrive in that environment, to be honest.
Yeah,
I work better with men.
Yeah.
I've got brothers.
Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I've got my girlfriends very much, but I get on well in that environment. I get on well in the gym. I get on well, like, you know, going from custody, I went on to homicide again. Not male dominated on that department, but I get on well. You know, I like having the banter.
Yeah.
It's just the way I am.
Okay.
So I will thrive in that environment.
What, you know, it's probably hard for you to comment, you know, I suppose. Did you see people that didn't necessarily, because I can absolutely see that you would thrive in that environment. You would, and if someone went too far, you'd say, yeah, that's enough.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but I suppose I have seen people where they haven't been able to do that.
Yeah, I think it's in a lot of places now, and don't forget the culture has changed a lot, hasn't it? So things that were acceptable back then are not acceptable now.
Yes.
And that's in every line of work.
Yeah, of course, yeah, it's not just there.
Yeah, so I think that's just come with a culture shift.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm a bit of a loudmouth, so if there was something going on that I weren't happy with, I'm not scared to speak out.
Yeah.
Probably at the age of 18, I might have been a bit more meek and mild, but not much,
No.
You know.
I suppose, yeah, if you've got brothers, so you kind of cut your teeth, so to speak, with those, and you kind of knew how to handle.
Yeah, and I just think nowadays you learn more, don't you? You know, I'm 40 in a couple of months, so I feel like now at this age I'm very comfortable with who I am. I'm very confident with where I'm going, and I'm definitely not doing anything I don't want to do, or, you know. But it's taken me a while to get to that level of confidence. So I don't think that was always there, you know, especially at the age of 18.
No. And I think definitely. We kind of think at that age, we know who we are, and we know.
Oh, but we don't.
And then I get to 40 and I'm like, no, I'm all right.
Yeah, we're all right now.
Yeah.
But when we look back then, you know, we had a lot of learning to do.
Yeah.
And I was definitely the same.
It's I wish I knew now what I knew then.
Oh, don't we all? Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I suppose, you know, my background is addiction. So you must have seen a lot of that in custody.
Awful lot of it, yeah.
And you know, I've met some really nice coppers, lovely custody officers, you know, if you like, who have really taken care of me. And yeah, I think that's probably changed, you know, kind of how we look after people and that kind of welfare in custody.
Did you ever get locked up in the West Mids?
No.
I just wondered if our paths had ever crossed.
No, I was pretty good.
Sometimes you never know.
I was pretty good by the time I got here. Norfolk, Suffolk Police, I didn't like them. They have these PIK centres, PIC, Police Investigation Centres.
Right.
Huge, you know, units.
Oh, like super blocks.
60 cells, you know. And
they've got them here now.
Yeah. And they come in from all over. And I think because of the area, because it was a rural area, a lot of the officers were firearms trained.
Okay.
Because it being rural,
yeah.
And so, you know, most people, I suppose it's countryside, so most people had. So they would come in quite heavy, do you know what I mean? And just that dominance of, I shouldn't get nicked, should I really? It happens.
In the past.
No, and then, you know, most of my background was just silly, you know, drug crime, really. Do you know what I mean? So.
What was it mainly involving, like shoplifting and stuff?
Yeah. Do you know what? Some of the custody charges was really good. I'd get there, you know, there'd be 10 bottles of spirits, some cheese and some bacon.
Something you could sell, yeah.
And they'd say, "You're going to cough to it, yeah." Straight into an interview, get them out.
Yeah.
Because they kind of knew that, you know, and 45 minutes I think was the quickest I was in and out.
Nice.
Which was nice.
What year are we talking now? Cause
I don't know. 2015, 2016 would be the last. Yeah, 2016 was the last time. 2018 was the last time I went to court.
Okay, so talking 7 years.
Yeah, 7 years ago, yeah.
Which is not bad really, because I suppose that kind of custody procedure, an in and out custody procedure, was more, was the norm back sort of like in the early 2000s when I was working in there. But it seemed to change a little bit as time went on, and
it's about 10 hours, isn't it now?
yeah, and CPS, you used to have to go to CPS for everything, so you'd have to wait all the time. So it sort of changed a little bit, didn't it? In my opinion, the good days were like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
It was a good environment to work in.
Yeah.
And that's not... How can I put it? I mean, this is going to sound like this... Well, I'll explain. CCTV came in probably about 2010.
Yes.
And that sort of changed things. And it wasn't that anything needed to be hidden. It wasn't like, we're going to have to behave now, because we didn't do anything wrong anyway. But that really sort of changed things.
What do you think that was?
I don't know.
Is it just, I suppose, if I'm hearing you right on the CCTV thing, it's just a layer of evidence that they had to then get, and then you have to get permission, or is that where you're
I mean,
going
it just felt sort of like a little bit more like a big brother kind of thing, you know. I mean, they're everywhere now, because we're sort of like 15 years on from that.
Yeah.
But at the time, I remember sort of that being a real pivotal point of working in there and thinking, for the last however many years.
Are you talking about CCTV in custody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In custody blocks, in your work environment, being watched working, and like I say, it weren't like we were doing anything wrong, but all of a sudden there's cameras everywhere, and it just sort of felt like that was a bit of a change. But I don't know if that maybe was around the time I had my first son as well, so things were changing for me.
I was just thinking that when you said it wasn't like they were doing anything wrong, it wasn't my experience.
Yeah, I certainly wasn't doing anything wrong, I'll tell you that. I enjoyed working in there for the majority. Yeah.
The occasional little dig you'd get, or
I wouldn't dig anyone.
No, but I'm not. I don't know if you're gonna go that far, but it happened.
Yeah, I can believe it.
Especially as a gobby teenager, I got the odd slap here and there from a police officer.
Yeah.
More the older ones.
The old sweats. Yeah.
Yeah, they would, especially as a youth, you would definitely get a slap.
Yeah, I wonder if that's got anything to do with your size and being sort of like, because you are a big lad, aren't you? I wonder like they.
I was about 12 stone then.
Oh, yeah. Wringing wet.
Smoked most of me. Yeah, absolutely. I was like 12 stone, and I have to own it. Yeah, I probably wasn't very nice.
Yeah.
And I would say things about family and really just rile them up. So now we've discussed it. It was probably fair game.
And that, because obviously I used to get a lot of that verbal abuse. People saying things about my family and stuff like that. And at the beginning, because that fire's always been in me, so automatically you'd want to react, and I did.
Of course, yeah.
I'd get wound up, but very, very soon, I quickly realised water off a duck's back.
And I suppose being in custody, so you're kind of you just see people and you just know they didn't do it.
Well, I mean,
or do you just become kind of desensitised to that, and it's nothing to do with me? No,
I just think some people, I could be sat, because I'd have to do quite often like a cell door watch, and you'd get talking to people or whatever, and their personalities would come across. But people can be very manipulative, can't they? So even it didn't really matter what I thought about them.
Yeah.
I saw a real wide range of characters in that environment, and 9 times out of 10, people coming in for the more serious crimes were the easiest people to deal with.
We said this the other day.
Yeah, I know. I told you about the time I met a hitman.
Yeah.
And he was the most gentlemanly person I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.